In his 12 years in office, he's never had an easy campaign. 35th Ward Alderman Rey Colon has had yet another tough fight in rapidly gentrifying Logan Square and Avondale. I'm Mike Fouché, publisher of Aldertrack, and this is our Meet a Chicago Candidate series. So tell me, Alderman Colon, why do you still want to be alderman after all this time?
Well, it's a very rewarding job, and Mike, as you know, before I was alderman, I was director of the Boys and Girls Club, director of the YMCA, an area manager with the Park District. So my roots have always been in working with children and families, and since the tragic death of my brother's drive-by shooting, my goal has always been to make the neighborhood safe, clean, and secure, healthy for young people, and figuring that if I can do that, I can make it healthy for everyone. And so my focus has always been still, working with children, making sure that from the early ages they have a good education, and that, we could create jobs in the neighborhood, and also, fight to increase the wages in those jobs to make sure that people are lifting them families out of poverty. So.
Do you consider yourself a Rahm Emanuel or Willie Wilson or Bob Fioretti or Chuy Garcia supporter?
I would consider myself a Rahm Emanuel supporter. I think that he's faced. I was here before he got here, and I was here after he got on the scene, and I think that he inherited a lot to deal with, and I think that he's proven himself as far as being able to lead the city, and I think he's been good for Chicago, and I think he will continue to be.
So, as an alderman, you know that a lot of what you have to do is ward maintenance stuff. But if you had one big citywide issue for the next 4 years, what would you say it would be?
One big citywide issue. I mean, the elephant in the room is dealing with the pension crisis, and for anyone who's elected to be part of the city council, they're gonna have to be faced with that. We've run out of road to kick the can down, so it's something that has to be dealt with. And everything has to be put on the table. Every, fundraising option, every job, every agreement, taxes, everything. And it's going to be painful, I think, for a lot of people, but it needs to be spread out as evenly as possible to, so that the taxpayers are protected and not left holding the bag. And so, there's some tough decisions that need to be made and some negotiating that needs to happen. I don't know how the story is going to end, but it has to be dealt with.
So your opponent has made a lot of hay out of your DUI arrests. What does that have to do with your campaign?
Well, it's something to grasp onto, an issue to grasp onto, especially if you come to a campaign with very little experience or accomplishments under your belt. But I made it a point to deal with this before the election. I could have easily had, my attorney drag it on and, answer the question and get the verdict after the campaign was over. But I thought it was important to deal with it head on, which I did, and made sure that that we went to trial before the election. And, the judge found me not guilty, but my opponent's still trying to find me guilty. And his supporters have been running a negative TV ad for 6 weeks straight. And I think it's going to backfire. I don't subscribe to that kind of negativity. I've never done it with any other candidate or opponent, and I'm not going to do it here. So I'm going to focus on the positive, on the accomplishments that I do have, and what I want to bring to the new 35th Ward, and keep it positive and keep it real, and not try to sidetrack the campaign with something that has nothing to do with how you're going to lead, how you're going to bring jobs into the neighborhood, how you're going to create opportunities for young people, preschool, after school, how you're going to help to educate, the people in the community, and what resources you're going to bring in. So those are the things that I'm focused on and will continue to be focused on. And we've got 5 neighborhoods in the new 35th Ward, and I've got a vision for each one, and different issues in each one, and every community is different. And so I try to tailor, kind of listen to what needs to be done out there, and really tailor my efforts towards, improving those communities that I'm serving.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You can learn more about the Rey Colon campaign and 183 others by subscribing to our email newsletter at aldertrack.com, by listening to this series on Rivet Radio, or by subscribing to this series on YouTube. Thank you very much. More great stuff to come.